3D printing brings the ability to bring a lot of productivity into the plastic industry. The fact that we can, through conformal cooling channels, the machines can operate 20 to 30% faster by having more, not only more stable injection molding processes, but also able to increase by 20 to 30% the throughput of the machine. That creates incredible amounts of competitive advantage as well as potential growth and productivity to the industry. And 3D printing should not be restricting that growth, should be embraced to bring that growth into the industry for it to be competitive in the global marketplace. That's where, in my old life at GE, if I was able to get a 20, 30% productivity in a system, I would kill for it. And 3D printing allows you to bring that. And what we're trying to do is make 3D printing easy to access and not be a monster of I don't want to touch it because it's weird. We want to make it easy to adopt, and both in price and workflow, so that you can actually start the journey. So Xact Metal is trying to just bring part of efficient technology into the industry. It's been a technology that's been around for 30 years, but it's been out of reach for this market, for these customer sets. The technology has been very expensive. And we realized that, one, bringing the pricing points so that it can be brought as a common, like you bring a CNC machine or something like that into the shop, is important. We also realized that you needed to have the part be printed in a material that's common to the industry. So we've now partnered with Udoholm to bring Corex, a material that behaves like a 420 steel in terms of hardness performance, but 300 series steel in terms of corrosion. So now you can actually do conformal cooling channels without having to deal with corrosion, which is a big industry. And once you have conformal cooling channels in a tool, you can start introducing all the benefits of 3D printing in terms of machine uptime and throughput. The second thing that we've done is actually in regards to polishing. We think that today the industry is facing lots of pressure in terms of the workforce and not having polishers available to do that. And sometimes even the consistency of the work is an issue. We're starting to work with a company out of Spain called GPA Nova. The product line name is D-Light, and you're able to bring dry electropolishing techniques that can be repeatable and automates the process of polishing. Now we're early stages in terms of how to use it in mold making. There's some issues that we need to deal with the application on how their technology is used, but it's providing a lot of potential for the technology to really bring automation and performance into this industry. On the software side, it's very important. The software allows us to increasingly automate the workflow of preparing the part. There's things like conformal cooling channels. They're very, very difficult to bring in. So now we bring in the CAD environment to the software using 3D Expert from Octane. That allows us to create the conformal cooling channels and then interface with other softwares that the industry is using today, like Moldx 3D, that allows you to create, simulate, and bring the solution into the printer.
What I've seen is that, and it's actually really, even being at the shows over the last 6 months, I've seen a lot that mold makers know they need to do something, right? They know that it's coming. It's another tool in the toolbox to get something done. It's not going to replace everything else, but it's another way to get something done. But what was holding everybody back is either the price point of the machine. Not everybody has $500,000 to invest in new technology, right? Let alone understand what they're doing. And then you got the software side of it, and you got the powder side of it, right? So basically they've been taking a margin steel, which has been around for 30 years, and pushing it out and saying, this is your solution, don't ask about anything else, right? In a nutshell. And then with Udoholm coming around with the Corex material, now you have tooling steels that everybody's used to using already, right? So now we got a machine that's affordable. Now you got materials that they're already used to using, and then the software side of it with 3D Expert, I think, is a great software. You can actually, so think of it like when you're doing CNC, you know what you want at the end of the day. You know what you want to produce, right? I can cut here, I can leave stock here, I can do that. With the 3D Expert software, you're bringing in step files, so you've got surfaces that you have control over. So I can go more laser wattage here, less laser wattage there, right? I can do lattice structures, I can do all the internal conformal cooling automatically. So it's like the software is caught up, the pricing of the technology's caught up, and then now the powder's caught up, right? So it's kind of like this perfect little storm, I like to say, right, of everything kind of coming together. And I think that it's and everybody asking for it and understanding they need to do something. So it's kind of like, it's all kind of coming together. And I think the last 3-4 months has been evident of that. More and more mold makers are like, okay, I'm ready. I got to do something. I need to get something in-house. And then I think to topple onto that, I know this isn't part of the question, but you've got 8th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, everybody else in high school that's already doing 3D printing, but they don't care about mold making. So now if you've got a barrier of entry where you've got 3D printing that kind of speaks to that generation, that maybe it's a way to entice them into the industry because they already understand 3D printing, they're 3D printing metal, it's kind of cool, and you can make mold inserts with it, right? So kind of like it's, and with us old guys retiring soon, right? Or soon enough, right? Soon enough, so to speak, we need somebody to replace us, right? So maybe this is kind of like, the perfect storm of the education side of stuff or the trade industry, so.